Hey guys, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel. It's getting a bit exciting here. Get two Anthonys at once in the background. We've got myself playing on the TV. I'm proof watching a couple of videos. Can you hear that? I don't know, I find it distracting anyway. Can you shut that guy up? I'm bloody sick of his voice. Anyway, here we are. We're doing a BFE job on a 120 Prado, which is just awesome. Now, assistant, please, can you get on that bar there now? Well, I just want to demonstrate. People over tightening things, unbelievable. Without any extension on there, can you tell me? Can you just get that undone, mate? Because that's a pretty decent length. It's only a ratchet, but it's only 35 Newton meters, right? Let's see. And you've seen his guns before, mate. You want to check these out? We're going to go, mate. Look, check out this one here, mate. Anyway, whatever. Can't get it undone, no? You're a bit red in the face there, mate. All right, let's get the bar extension, the big pipe, onto the ratchet and see how tight this is, mate. You know, so have a look how big this bar is, right? We're talking about we've got about 2 foot going on now, anyway. Oh man, got it.
Yep.
All right, get the bar off. Let's see now. It's all good now. It just doesn't need to be that tight. People need to use torque specifications. Okay, so this is closer to the 300,000 K timing belt change, and we're doing the water pump, and everybody knows what a BFE is, don't they? I'm pretty sure. Have I got a playlist on that? Someone put it in the comments. Yeah, you got a playlist. Put in what it's called, because I can't remember. It's probably called the BFE and the water pump and the whatever. There's just too much going on. But have a look at all the dust and dirt in there, right? This is just your typical Prado, but look at that bearing on that idler. Can't wait to get that off and give it a spin. Look, obviously, maybe it was probably, definitely maybe gonna make it to 300,000 Ks, but maybe not. So that's why we do the BFE, you know, not just the timing belt here, but replace that idler because there's a bearing in there, the tensioner, it's coming off. You might as well put a fresh one on. The cam seals in the kit in behind there, but as you can see with this one, it isn't leaking, right? They're usually not leaking. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, but you need it in the kit in case it is leaking. You might not see until you get it apart. I haven't had a super close look at this, but it looks to me like it's not leaking. You can see it's got some coolant in there, looks relatively clean. That's what you want, right? We change it while it's still good. So the first one, as I keep saying, the first one, you know, at 5 or 6 years or whatever they want, I don't care. But after the first one, in my opinion, you need to do your coolant every couple of years or so, right? As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to drop the coolant on the 120. I don't think it's been about 2.5 years, actually. Tell you what we'll do. We'll do a bit of work on the 120 soon. And we're going to do a coolant change. We're going to do a transmission flush. Might do a power, we'll check out the power steering. We might flush a few things and show you a few things. Might even do a brake fluid flush. We'll do a video on that because I don't even know if we've done that. Probably because it's more of a safety thing, and I don't want people messing around with brake systems and brake fluid if they don't know what they're doing. If you need me to show you how to do it, maybe you shouldn't be doing it. If you know, then you know. So maybe what we'll do, we'll call it some, you shouldn't do this, but here's some tips if you do, and we'll maybe show you a few things. But anyway, you can see how clean the water pump is, changing that as prevention. We'll maybe show you a bit more information on this BFE job as we go through it. But if you want to see more information, you can check out our playlist. It'll have something, but just go through our playlist. There's only about, what, 30 playlists. The other thing we're going to do, you can see a fair bit of dirt sitting on top of this radiator. It's not too bad, but it's just sitting there. That's why it's worth getting the cover off over here every now and then, give it all a wash down, even if you're not doing a BFE, because by putting a fair bit of water down there, you're going to rinse a lot of that dirt and dust out of the radiator core. But most people have seen these sorts of videos before. If you're new to the channel, you really need to check out the previous ones, because those people that have been watching get sick of us sort of repeating ourselves, so we're considerate of that. But we also need to talk about it because there may be new information or things that I missed in other videos. So we're going to give this a reverse flush like we do. We get the pressure washer and push it all through this way, and all this garbage comes out the front. This isn't too bad. It's not like one of those ones that's got a full bird's nest in there. I can actually see through to the ground. You can't get the focus, but you can see the light through there, you can see. Anyway, right, I'll let you keep stripping this one down, mate. We'll get it all cleaned up. And yeah. So when the timing belt was done, obviously, like I've seen a few of these G&Bs, see it's green. That's your telltale sign if it's green. That says J&B over there, which is a decent brand, Japanese bearings and whatever. But I just don't like them as good as the genuine one's an NSK. Anyway, you go ahead and spin that. I'll be quiet for a minute. Let's see what we can hear. Look, it's not too bad. It's not too bad, is it? Okay. We were spinning it, and I thought I could hear. There's a bit of noise. It sounds a bit dry. So, for one that was changed at 150, it's not that exciting. No play in it, or a little bit. It's got a little bit of play in it. Yeah. Anyway, right, so we're just getting through this BFE job. For anyone that's interested in knowing more about this, I'm going to give you a few tips in a minute. But we've got at least one more full detail type BFE job in the VIP group. Obviously we got the kit for that, the BFE kit. So Monday mornings, text message 8 AM. So what we do is, because we like to give it a good wash down, and previously in the video I'm pretty sure we had a look at this cooling system and that, and we went, this one doesn't look too bad. Well, I've literally spent, I don't know, 20 minutes blasting through that way with this one, and you just wouldn't believe the amount of crud and stuff that blew out the front, all over the bull bar, all over the winch, and I kept rinsing it off and hitting again, and I'm looking at it here and it looks pretty clean, but when I looked in between the radiator and the condenser for the aircon, there's heaps of dirty water, like I mean really dirty, not a little bit like the Murray, I'm talking dirty water, like, yeah, really filthy, dark chunky bits of sandy stuff coming out there. And then when I look in front of the condenser, or even more all the way through, and this is why when we do this job people do comment, oh, my aircon works better, what did you do to the aircon? Because the system can't work if there's no airflow, if it's full of dust and dirt, and you may not be able to see it. So even the ones that look bad, they've got all grass and bugs and all bigger things you can see. But even if you haven't got the bigger things you can see, there's a lot of debris in the radiator and the condenser and stuff like that you can't see. And that airflow, the engine needs it for the cooling, the air conditioning system needs it for the cooling. So yeah, don't be surprised if it works a lot better. But this one was particularly surprising because it looked so, not too bad. Didn't look like it's done a lot of off-road, it looked pretty clean. Looking in between the two, down the middle didn't look too bad. At the front looked pretty good, but it just kept coming out and out, and we'd rinse it off the bull bar and then hit it again. It was just kept coming. It was beautiful. Anyway, the point is, really important to do that clean, but you need to be really careful that you don't get too close with your pressure washer to these little fins here, otherwise you can do damage and bend them over. It's not a big deal. It's probably better a few of those bent over in it being clean rather than being all blocked up, if you know what I mean. So anyway, that's one important thing you needed to know. The other one is the order of business, so we're going to go through that. So you strip it all down, you get your fan off, you get your water pump out, your timing belt, pulling it apart, whatever suits you. We get all these pulleys off, 1, 2, 3, because we're changing the bearings, obviously it's all part of the kit. And the water pump comes off, the timing belt, all the components come off. Just a quick tip, if you're doing the cam seal, if you're taking that top pulley off for whatever reason, crack that bolt loose, because it's 98 Newton meters, crack it loose before you take the belt off. That way when you're trying to turn it, you can't accidentally turn the camshaft and hit the valves into the pistons. So there's your tip for hanging around. Always worth waiting till later in the videos, because you might not have got that out of another video yet. It's in other videos, but you just might not have got it. You need to hang around till the end, because I can't fit all the information in the first 4 minutes, right? Or the first 1 minute or the first 6 minutes. It's it's a watch the whole video thing, right? So we get everything off, but of course, and we do want to wash this down. Look, I'm not that happy with just compressed air, so we do a light degreaser thing and then a light pressure wash, and it comes up all nice and clean. We blow it dry. But before we do any of that, I actually put the new water pump on. So after we've let all the coolant drain out, and often I'll get the compressed air and sort of blow it to get any other hose areas, right? To get that, to push the coolant out of the block. Not that it matters, because it's all nice and clean anyway, and we're using the same stuff. So a bit of a mix, but I just like to get a bit more out where possible. But then we'll put that water pump on before we do this wash, because purposely we left this one a little bit dirty, put the cover back and everything on, and to show you some of the, the spray, you might not be able to see it too well on the video, but even washing this way with most of the debris going that way, some of it sprays back this way, and I don't want to get dirt and debris and mud into your engine block. So you probably figured that out, I guess. We may have said it in other videos, I hope we said it in our full detail EGR type video, if you know what I mean. Don't worry about the noises in the background, that's just we're doing some work on the vehicle, mucking around, this and that. So yeah, get the water pump on there for the big wash down, and then the first thing we do is I like to get the timing belt back together ASAP. So once it's all washed, then blown all dry, then obviously the timing belt and all these components go back on there. That details in other videos, as I said, particularly in the VIP group for the clients. And once that's together, obviously you can even start the vehicle and move it even with no coolant. I'm not talking about running it for a long time, I'm not recommending it, but for example, you know, you could start, if you needed to move the car, start the car and run the engine a short period of time, and people are going to say, what do you mean? Well, I'll say 10-20 seconds is safe. You know, the engine's not going to get, you could probably run it for longer than that, but I haven't tested it to go whether 5 minutes is okay. I'd probably recommend against 5 minutes, you know what I mean? I'm talking less than a minute, less than 30 seconds ideally, around 10 seconds ideally. Start it up, move it a little bit, switch it off again. It's not even going to, nothing's really going to get warm at all, right? So, but just beware, you're also running your water pump dry as well while there's no coolant in there. Again, a short period of time is not going to do any damage, but remembering there's no actual belt or anything on there turning the water pump at the moment, so you've got to think about these things when I give you information. You've got to understand it so that you can suit that information to your purpose at the time, because I might say that's okay, but you might have your water pump and everything connected here and go, oh, it sounded like a minute was okay, but then if you've got it all connected and you still haven't got coolant in there, well, that's not ideal, right? I don't know how long it's going to take running no coolant in this pump before it damages the seal or reduces its life. You know what I mean? At the moment it's plugging a hole, it's not turning, so by running the engine there's nothing in here that's going to cause any harm whatsoever. So once that's all done, you've got the pump on, you've washed it, you've blown it dry, you put your timing belt back together, then you know you can put these pulleys back in place, because we don't want to have those pulleys with the new bearings all getting washed unnecessarily. So put that, I mean, it'll get washed in the future anyway, it'll go through river crossings and all that sort of thing, but we like to minimise it with the washing, the degreaser and the pressure while we can. So they've just gone back on. Next, we'll sit the pulley over the pump, right down there. The belt will go on. We put the belt on before the fan and everything's in the way, but look, I don't want to go on too long. All that details in other videos. It's in the VIP group. If you do want a BFE kit, you know, Monday mornings, text me 8 AM Monday mornings. Monday's parts day. All the other days we're busy. If you can try and avoid contacting me, text me any other days, because we're busy on the tools. It's just costing us time, and all the information, the questions you're asking in the videos. So please check out those playlists. I just keep repeating myself, all the information is there. 90% plus of the questions that get asked of me, the answers are in the video. You've only seen 10, or you've only seen 3, or you've only seen 50. Unfortunately, you need to keep watching the rest, because I've got tens of thousands of people that want information, and I can't just text everybody about it. The text message service is there for parts purchases only, for those parts kits Monday morning, or to inquire about booking into the Prado hospital, or you can also use it to inquire about, hey, I saw you mention you had a workshop partner in Sunshine, or in Marsden Park near Sydney, or whatever it is in Perth, you know, can you please, you know, and depending how well you send that message, whether you get a reply or not, and how much detail you get in your reply, because by working yourself around our Facebook groups and YouTube videos, you will find those people's details get mentioned every now and then. We don't want time wasters annoying them either. They're pretty well trained on the same sort of thing, and avoiding those nuisance calls. Sorry, but we get, you know, it's the 20/80 rule. Anyway guys, we're ready. I hope you liked it. Hit the like button, subscribe, turn the bell on, and watch the whole videos. Check out the playlists. See ya.